Okay guys, welcome back to another video. Haven't uploaded in a while because it's me, but we're here to talk about a kind of a topic I have a strong opinion about is Genshin Impact, obviously. I'm Genshin Impact, I make the decisions, not really though. But we're here to talk about Genshin Impact and primarily, but you can tell that these exquisitely drawn pictures, um, the combat system, or probably titled the combat system. I've got a few problems, gripes, few issues here and there with the combat system, so I thought I'd run through some of them just to get my point across and see if there's any other people out there that agree. Um, and so the first thing is the general feel of it. The general feel of the combat feels good, it feels fluid. I definitely can't find a problem with that. The problem for me comes when you try to do a few more. I wouldn't say technical, but a few more like kind of you're not paying as much as attention, or you're just using abilities, using like Zhongli's ult, Venti's ult, Zhao's dash. A few of these abilities work in a very odd way, and so we'll take the first cube here, first box. Obviously, green is main character. Green is the your character here. That's who you are. And these are enemies. We're just going to say they're Hilichurls because that's the easiest enemy to work with. So 3 Hilichurls here, and let's say we're playing as, Zhao. How do you spell it? Zhao. We're playing as Zhao, and we want to use his dash. We open with the dash through enemies to deal damage. We're going to delete this just because it's in the way. And so we'll use this. We want to dash. And so let's say we're walking towards them from this direction. Yellow is kind of an obnoxious color, I do apologize, but we've got the whole spectrum. We're walking towards them at this direction, and where our camera angle is just in this general area here to hit all of them, because there's a fair bit of width to the like area of the dash. And so you would assume that the dash would go straight through here and hit, and because its width is like pretty much the same width as Zhao, pretty much it would just kind of swoop in and hit all of them because of elemental AoE and all that stuff. No. Because of how the locking on works with the combat, Zhao would not do this. He would instead dash straight through this guy and only hit this guy pretty much. So we'll change colors here. We'll do like a purple, I guess. So blue would be your camera angle and where you would want the dash to go, whilst purple is where it would actually go because of target locking on. And so this is how I've kind of phrased it. It's a combination of both action combat and tap target. Sidetracked. Another example of that would be here. Another example of how the tab target and action combat part doesn't really make sense. So, camera angle, again we'll use blue. Camera angle is this one. Camera angle, you're aiming up towards the 2 enemies because you'd rather hit 2 enemies than 1, right? You don't want to hit the guy behind you because he's behind you. Your camera angle is this way, and you'd hope that your ability is used that way. But because the proximity between you and this guy is, a lot smaller than this guy, you'll automatically pretty much tab target onto this guy. Even if you tried to auto attack in this direction, it would not go, it would not go that way. Instead, use his E, his auto attacks, you're attacking down towards him. It's a pretty big flaw when it comes to this stuff here, because this can literally mess you up in pretty much this last example here. And this right here is a very unrealistic example, but it's just to show how it would work. And so what would happen is you're playing as Zhongli. Zhongli is a good example of this, and so is Venti. And any character with like pretty much a forward, Diluc, Venti, Zhongli, sorry, Who else? I don't really know that many characters. Albedo here and there. Um, the Traveler, Traveler Animo. But how it would work is, as obviously we'll do this again, your cursor or your camera, with the way you're facing, the way you are running your character, the way you're moving the character in which direction is, let's say this guy. You're moving him towards this guy because, you wanna hit these two and possibly this guy here, right? But camera locking auto attacks this guy. And now that doesn't seem like too big of an issue because you'll probably hit this one as well. Well, compared to hitting 3 to 2 is, in my opinion, a bit bigger, but it's also let's use specifically Zhongli's ult, one of the ults that I kind of like it affects him more. Is Zhongli's ult is that it affects slightly behind him and slightly in front of him. I don't know if that's the actual size. I don't know, but let's say you want to kill this one because let's say it's a priority target. I want to hit this guy. Obviously, you're hitting him, but it's more so the point. I don't know. It's a very odd example that I'm using, but it's you want to hit this guy as the primary target, and this guy and this guy. Let's just say, but your camera snaps to this one, or your target or lock on is on this one. It snaps to this one, this guy right here. Big old fucker. Oh, god damn. This guy right here. And so you hit these three instead of these three up here in the top. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not a massive problem. It's just that the general feel of the game, the general kind of fluidity of the game drops when you don't kind of have 100% control of your character. And so, like I would definitely say that I would advise, and definitely opinionated because this combat style, the combat style of it's moderately action combat and kind of it's half action, half tab target. And for quick definitions for those who don't know what tab target and action combat is, tab target would be you have your character, you have your character, and then you have a bunch of enemies. About tab target is it'll choose an enemy, and that's the one you're attacking. You will only attack this enemy. Oh, that's not working. But yeah, the one that's blacked out, that's the enemy you're attacking because you're locked onto them. It's pretty much like the locking on system in Souls. I don't know if it's actually Souls games, but let's say Souls games, Bloodborne, those types of games. The lock-on system. That's it. That's what tab target is essentially. How it would work in Genshin. In other games like World of Warcraft, it works differently, where you have this enemy and you can face this direction. Oops, let me switch over to this. In World of Warcraft, you can be locked onto this one, but you can be facing this direction and pretty much still be attacking him. That's an example. But how it would work in Genshin is this is your lock-on target, and you have to face this way to attack him. That's the general gist. And then a quick rundown of action combat is, again, you have obviously your character, which is in a circle. You have your character here, boom, beautiful. And then you have a bunch of enemies. We'll do this, we'll do that. Put them mainly in front just to get the general idea of. You're surrounded by enemies like this. How action combat would then work is you have a cylinder, sorry, not a cylinder, a rectangle, and let's say you want to use Zhao's dash, you would have a telegraph of the ability and where it would go. So this would be Zhao's dash, theoretically. If you want to use his dash, you wouldn't be shown this, but that's where it would be, or as it's happening, that's where it would appear, right? It has the telegraph with a Zhongli's ultimate. If you guys notice during the animation, it telegraphs where it's going to land. But where it faults at is, let's say, you press Zhongli's ult expecting it to go onto these 5. Oh, it snaps over to this guy because you were pre-locked onto him, right, or something like that. Something like that. Some influence you were pre-locked on. He moved slightly closer just at the end. You know, all these different things. Uh, you know, you can have different types of frontals, or like different telegraphs, like action combat. You can have a triangle. Can't really make a correct triangle in the right direction, but you know, you can have the general gist. We'll do this. You can have a triangle like that. You can put down something like this. You can put down, it's pretty much a telegraph on the ground to tell you that you're attacking in this direction. You know what? You get the general idea. Kind of hard in paint. I'm not a paint expert, but that's the general gist behind the two different types of combats. You got uh, uh, tab target. It's a bit small, but let's jack up the size. 72 is not a lot. Wait, where'd the text go? Oh, besides the point. Left here is a tab target. You know, you have the black target here is, or the black circle is the target you're on, and that's the only target that you'll attack theoretically, unless you angle it perfectly. And action combat is with the you have your character, and you have to, obviously this is the direction you're facing. I should clarify. This direction, the blue direction here, is the one that you're facing. So that's my main issue. You know, these are three examples. Like I have experienced this first one, the first big circle or big square over here that I've shown is the first time I experienced this, or the first time I mainly caught sight of this as a massive issue. Because, you know, for me personally, I like to have 100% control over my character's, you know, doings. I don't want to have any other influence in there. So when you have you know, this small influence of like you're angling it this way. Let me just zoom in a bit here. You're angling it that way. You're like between all three of them, pretty much at the middle one, but between the two, and it goes to the far right one, not hitting anything else. Feels kind of bad. The second example isn't as common because, you know, it's easier to avoid, right? It's just a lot easier to avoid because now I've now started using my ultimates as I'm right next to the enemy I want it to go at. And the last example is I'd say the least common, because ultimates, you generally use an ultimate or something like that when you're in the correct position. But let's say you're not try-harding, you're just chilling, using ultimates, you know, playing the game as you want. This can happen, and it's especially noticeable when you have different like ultimates that kind of need to work properly. Like Venti's ultimate is a specific one, because with Venti's, the middle one is the most impactful. Because let's say you want to, like, you know, you could definitely say there's more enemies back here, right? And you just want to group them all with Venti. So, god damn it, you want to use Venti's to just group all of them like this into one little area. You want to smack them right there in the middle, right there, boom. All of them group up into that little circle. But no, instead your character fires it over yonder. Bam, he chucks it over here. This guy probably doesn't even get sucked in. He might just get clipped into it, because, you know, he might just run through or something like that. So, you know, I hope I got the point across. I hope, you know, if anything, it's not a big issue for anyone. Most people, you know, some of these are a big issue, but, you know, it's avoidable. You know, through attention and just general awareness, you can avoid these problems. But when you're just there to grind out your resin and just get rid of all your do your commissions to just get rid of all your resin, it can kind of cause a problem, because it's just generally annoying and doesn't make the game feel as fluid as it could be. You know, that's my general point with this whole spiel. But yeah, that's pretty much that. A few other problems for me personally, these are all just personal gripes at the end here, is ultimate animation. I don't really have any examples of that, but like, it's just general. You know, I don't want to have to look at Zhongli's face every time I call down a meteor. I don't want to have to listen to that. And I know it's kind of rude to the animators and whatnot to kind of tell them, yo, give us an option, just fuck this off, right? But I think it would help with the fluidity of the game, because going from gameplay to cutscene mid-fight is kind of obnoxious. That's a me personal thing. Some people don't have a problem because, after they use an ultimate, they just kind of say like, okay, let me have a look at what else I can do. Instead of I'm like, okay, this probably won't kill them. Now what else do I do? I need to act fast. Um, but that's pretty much it. The last one doesn't really matter, but it's mainly the combat here that I'm concerned about, and I think should be addressed. Maybe not soon, but possibly soon. I hope so soon. But that's pretty much that. Action combat versus tab target. Just choose one, or just action combat. Just choose action combat. Just do that one. Give us telegraphs. Without further ado, thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, I stream on twitch.tv/Venescence. Link in the description for that. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever. If you have something to say about this, go ahead. I'm down for a chat. It's a cool topic. I like Genshin Impact. I like talking about it. Have a great day. This is the end. Have a great day, morning, evening, wherever you are. Stay hydrated, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.